Starting in 2026, the federal student loan system in the United States is changing in ways that will directly affect college students, graduate students, parents, and millions of borrowers already out of school. These changes will restructure how much people can borrow, how long repayment lasts, and how forgiveness works. This video breaks down exactly what's changing, who it affects, and what it means long-term, using only confirmed facts. The most important date to know is July 1st, 2026. Any new federal student loans disbursed on or after that date will follow the new rules. Loans taken out before this date generally keep their original terms, but repayment options may still change later as the system transitions. This means many students and borrowers will eventually have a mix of old and new loan rules, depending on when each loan was taken out. One of the biggest changes is the elimination of most current income-driven repayment plans for new borrowers. Plans like Save, Pay, IBR, and ICR will no longer be available for loans taken out after the July 1st. Instead, there will be only two main repayment options. First, the standard repayment plan. This uses fixed monthly payments with repayment terms ranging from 10 to 25 years, depending on how much you borrowed. Payments are predictable, but often higher. Second, the Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP. Monthly payments are based on income, ranging from 1 to 10% of adjusted gross income. Payments automatically adjust as income changes. Forgiveness occurs after 30 years. This matters because under current plans, some borrowers qualify for forgiveness after 20 or 25 years. The new system extends that timeline to 30 years. This especially affects lower income graduates, career changers, and people in public service who do not qualify for PSLF. For undergraduate students, federal loan access continues, but borrowing limits remain capped. Students may need to rely more on scholarships, family contributions, work income, or private loans. This shifts more responsibility up front instead of relying on flexible repayment later. In addition to that, Grad Plus loans will no longer be offered to new borrowers. Previously, these loans allowed students to borrow up to the full cost of attendance, including living expenses. Graduate students will now face strict annual borrowing limits and lifetime borrowing caps, including undergraduate loans. Once federal limits are reached, additional tuition and living costs must be paid out of pocket or with private loans. Private loans usually carry higher interest rates, fewer protections, no income-based repayment, and no federal forgiveness. This disproportionately affects healthcare students, master's and doctoral programs, students at higher cost universities, and students without family financial support. Professional students, such as those in medical or law programs, will still be allowed to borrow more than standard graduate students. However, federal borrowing will no longer be unlimited. Lifetime caps apply, and any cost overruns must be covered privately. This increases financial risk for students in long, expensive programs. Additionally, Parent Plus loans will have annual limits and lifetime caps per child. Previously, parents could borrow up to the full cost of attendance with no hard cap. What this means for families. Parents may no longer be able to cover all college costs with federal loans. More costs shift to students, family savings, or private loans. This may influence college choice, housing decisions, and whether families choose in-state or out-of-state schools. If you are currently in college and borrowing before the deadline, your existing loans keep their original interest rates and terms. However, any loans taken after July 1st fall under the new system. Students who take longer to graduate may end up with two sets of loans under different rules. Graduation timing and borrowing strategy matter more than ever. If you already graduated, your loan balances and interest rates do not change. However, many borrowers are expected to be transitioned into the new repayment system by around 2028. Access to current income-driven plans may eventually close, and forgiveness timelines may become longer. Even borrowers who never take out new loans may still be affected. Previously, federal student loan forgiveness were tax-free due to a temporary provision that expired in 2025. Starting 2026, forgiven student loan debt may count as taxable income unless Congress extends the exemption. Borrowers expecting forgiveness after decades of repayment could owe significant federal taxes. Lastly, wage garnishment, tax refund offsets, and benefit offsets are fully active again for borrowers in default. Overall, these changes reduce how much people can borrow federally, simplify repayment options, extend repayment timelines, limit forgiveness flexibility, and shift more financial responsibility up front. The system moves away from long-term repayment relief and toward borrowing restraint. Whether you're in college now, considering graduate school, or already repaying loans, the 2026 changes reshape how student debt works in the United States. Understanding these rules before they affect you can change how much debt you take on and how long you carry it. The degree and career you choose is now more important than ever before. Degrees that bring back ROI and translate to strong careers are more valuable than ever. On the flip side, degrees that translate into nothing or weak job outlooks will be phased out. Luckily for you, we break down careers, education, ROI, and more on this channel. So check out our other videos to see if you're heading in the right direction. This is TruePath. Clarity before commitment.